Genghis Khan's tomb, uncovered after 1,000 years. What's inside stuns the entire archaeology team. Hello, welcome back to the Ancient History channel, where ancient mysteries are slowly unveiled piece by piece. Dear friends, when it comes to figures who shook the course of human history, you can't overlook the name Genghis Khan, a symbol of power, intelligence, and conquests that struck fear throughout the medieval world. But have you ever wondered, behind that shining glory, are there hidden shadows that have never been revealed? He's praised as the king of the steppe, a brilliant strategist, but few know that his life was also filled with chilling, mysterious elements. So much so that both scientists and modern historians remain baffled. Some stories have yet to be decoded, with details buried deep beneath the thick dust of time and history. So, what did Genghis Khan, the man who made all of Asia tremble, actually experience? Who was he really behind that armor of power? And why do the secrets surrounding him give so many people the chills? Don't take your eyes off the screen, because in today's video, I'll take you back in time on a journey to uncover the little-known dark side of an immortal legend, Genghis Khan. Now, without keeping you waiting any longer, let's begin with our first discovery. The 1,000 gold treasures and the 1,000-year mystery in the quest for Genghis Khan's tomb. There are some mysteries that only deepen our desire to uncover them as time goes by. One of the most thrilling and fascinating stories in human history is the quest to find the lost treasure of Genghis Khan, the legendary leader who shook the world with the thunder of Mongol hooves. Just hearing about it sends chills down your spine, doesn't it? Because it's not just about the death of a powerful man, but an enormous treasure, rumored to be so vast it could buy an entire nation, that vanished with him, leaving no trace for over 800 years. We're talking about Genghis Khan, the man who led a mighty army that conquered nearly 12 million square miles, more territory than any empire in history. From the vast Asian steppes to distant lands in Europe, his and the Mongol army's footsteps left marks everywhere. Every victorious battle not only brought more land, but also captured gold, jewels, silk, and precious wealth from all corners of the world. But then, in 1227, he suddenly died. Instead of being buried with the pomp of other kings, Genghis Khan's tomb was kept an absolute secret, as if it were a state secret. It is said that the funeral team was executed immediately after completing their mission, so no one outside that group would ever know his exact resting place. A cruel method, but it shows just how important that secret was. And here is where the treasure story takes a legendary turn. Rumor has it that the entire lifetime treasure hoard Genghis Khan amassed, from spoils of war and gifts from kingdoms to 1,000-year-old artifacts, was buried with him. Just imagine a tomb filled with pure gold, precious gems, rare pottery, and even treasures lost from ancient civilizations. Who wouldn't want to find it? For centuries, the hunt has never stopped. From historians and archaeologists to professional treasure hunters, everyone wants to be the first to uncover this secret. They've trekked through forests and mountains, used satellites, ground-penetrating radar, and advanced metal detectors. But what's the result? Zero. Absolutely nothing. So far, the most likely location targeted is Lake Issyk-Kul, a mysterious place nestled among majestic, cold mountains all year round. Some hypotheses suggest the treasure might lie deep beneath the lakebed, protected by millennia of sediment. Unfortunately, despite countless searches, thousands of rumors, and even skepticism from experts, no one has dared to claim a real clue. What's surprising, though, is that the faith has never died. There are still people who relentlessly pursue this mystery, believing that one day the door of history will open and the world will be astonished by what's discovered. Because sometimes, the greatest treasure is not what you find, but the journey of seeking it. That journey holds the passion, aspiration, and endless curiosity of humanity before the unsolved. So, if you had the chance to explore it, would you dare to embark on the quest for Genghis Khan's treasure? If it were me, I'd say yes. Genghis Khan was not his real name. Have you ever wondered if Genghis Khan, the name that once struck fear into the whole world, was actually not his real name? It might sound surprising, but it's true. This legendary figure, famous for countless great victories, had an origin story as fascinating as everything he accomplished in his lifetime. His real name was Temujin, a name not widely known to the modern public. He was born in 1162 as the son of Yesugai, the leader of a small branch of the Borte clan, one of the ancient tribes of the Mongolian steppe at that time. From the moment he was born, he carried a special sign, a blood clot in the palm of his hand. For the Mongols of that era, this wasn't a bad omen, but rather a prophecy that this child would grow up to be a great man who could change the course of history. But fate was never easy. When Temujin was just 9 years old, his father was poisoned by enemies. His family, once respected, was thrown into exile, poverty, and rejected by other tribes. From a noble-born child, he and his mother and siblings had to scrape roots and catch small fish just to survive. Yet, it was in that extreme darkness that a true leader began to take shape. That harsh childhood didn't break him. On the contrary, it forged a resilient, tough, and determined person, qualities that later helped him unify all the Mongol tribes, which had been fighting each other for generations. Then, in 1206, a year that marked a major turning point in human history, after gathering all the tribes under his command, Temujin was officially bestowed the title Genghis Khan, a title meaning universal ruler, or more broadly, king of the world. It was not simply a first name Genghis and last name Khan, as many people today mistakenly think. The name Genghis Khan became a symbol of domination and imperial stature beyond any borders. Under his leadership, the Mongols were not only fierce horsemen, but also became one of the most powerful empires in history, stretching from China to the Pacific Ocean all the way to Eastern Europe. It was an unprecedented empire, not just in terms of territory, but also in the speed of its conquests. So, every time you hear the name Genghis Khan, remember that behind it lies the remarkable transformation of a boy named Temujin, from a rejected child to the emperor of an era. And without the fateful events of his childhood, without those years of hardship, the name Genghis Khan that once made the world tremble might never have existed. The most powerful woman, beside Genghis Khan, not a beauty, but the backbone of an entire empire. As I mentioned earlier, when people think of Genghis Khan, they often recall the thundering hooves galloping across the steppe, glorious conquests, and an empire that stretched over 12 million square miles, covering about 16% of the world's land area at that time. But did you know, behind those thunderous hooves, there was always the presence of a woman whom he cherished and respected throughout his life, not just for her beauty, but for her intelligence and dedication to the great cause? That woman was none other than Borte, his first wife and the strongest support behind this legendary great Khan. Nowadays, when people talk about beauties in the royal court, they often imagine delicate, ornamental women who spend their days adorning themselves. But Borte was nothing like that. She was not just a wife. She was a true right-hand partner, standing by Genghis Khan from when he was a little-known leader to when he became the ruler of the world. Born in 1161, Borte married Genghis Khan, then known as Temujin, at the age of 17. Their love was not the kind of love at first sight, but a relationship built on mutual understanding, shared hardships, and loyalty. When Temujin's father was murdered and his family was cast out, their lives fell into hardship. During the toughest years, Borte was the one who never left his side. As someone once said, a successful man always needs a woman who quietly stands behind him and shoulders the burdens. Borte was exactly that woman. She bore Genghis Khan 9 children, some of whom played critical roles in inheriting and managing the empire later on. But beyond that, her political and administrative role was also highly respected. When the great Khan led his armies to conquer distant lands, who held the palace, managed the rear, and ensured the empire's stability? It was Borte. She didn't simply fulfill the duties of a homemaker, she was a true leader. According to many historical records, Borte was skilled in archery, knowledgeable about governance, and above all, held great respect among the Mongolian people. The people loved her, the soldiers admired her, and Genghis Khan trusted her completely in all circumstances. Whenever he had to leave the capital to lead troops on distant battlefields, Borte was the one who maintained the loyalty of the people, coordinated the rear, and kept the empire's lifeblood flowing. This was no easy task, especially during a time when chaos could erupt at any moment. Today, historians hold Borte in special esteem. Without showiness or flaunting power, her sacrifice and influence on Genghis Khan are undeniable. If the great Khan was like an eagle soaring in the sky, then Borte was the sturdy nest he always returned to. Genghis Khan may have been the terror of his enemies, a brilliant military genius, but to one woman, he was a husband, a companion, and someone who placed his lifelong trust in her. And that woman deserves to be remembered by history not just as the most favored beauty, but as the silent soul of an entire empire. What do you think? Without Borte, would there have been a Genghis Khan as great as history records? I'm certain there wouldn't have been. The curse guarding Genghis Khan's tomb for nearly 1,000 years. When it comes to Genghis Khan, besides his legendary military victories, another mystery that has puzzled many is the story of his tomb, his final resting place. The mystery surrounding the location and contents of his tomb has sparked countless debates and kept researchers puzzled for nearly 1,000 years. What makes that tomb so famous? It's the rumor of a powerful curse protecting it, a curse so terrible that anyone daring to disturb the tomb would pay a heavy price. The story begins with an oral legend that those who buried Genghis Khan placed a curse to guard his treasures and his sacred resting place. The curse warns that anyone who dares to touch the tomb will suffer unbearable pain, even facing a living hell on earth. Imagine this. Would anyone risk invading a place considered untouchable, with the price being lifelong suffering or even death? The curse is not merely about protecting material wealth, but also about preserving the honor and dignity of this great leader after his departure from this world. What's special is that this curse doesn't exist only in the hearts of the Mongolian people. It has spread worldwide, creating a mysterious and terrifying image of Genghis Khan's tomb. One could say the curse has become an inseparable part of folklore, adding irresistible allure to archaeologists and history enthusiasts alike. However, up to now, researchers still haven't found concrete evidence confirming whether this curse is real or not. They have searched and investigated extensively, but Genghis Khan's tomb remains silent and hidden in mystery. This is what makes the story even more captivating. An unexplored part of history, an unproven curse, and buried treasures still waiting for someone to decode. Do you think it's thanks to these legends of the curse that the tomb has remained safe through the centuries? Perhaps it's a way history and folklore have helped preserve both the treasure and the sacred image of Genghis Khan. The mystery and eerie feelings surrounding the tomb have motivated many people around the world to embark on journeys to explore, seek the truth, and discover the treasures of a glorious era. Whether the curse is real or just an oral story, it creates an atmosphere full of curiosity and suspense. Whenever people mention Genghis Khan, they think of the unsolved mysteries about his life and death, the tomb guarded by invisible powers, and the secrets no one dares to break. The mystery of Genghis Khan's death. Poison, illness, or assassination plot? Have you ever wondered how the great leader of the Mongol Empire, Genghis Khan, actually passed away? His death was not only the end of a glorious life, but also a puzzle that has remained unsolved for centuries. The cause of Genghis Khan's death continues to baffle historians, researchers, and history enthusiasts alike, sparking ongoing debates. First, the most commonly mentioned theory is that Genghis Khan was poisoned. According to legends passed down through generations, the great Khan drank water from a poisoned well, which weakened his health and eventually led to his death. It sounds like a sophisticated assassination, right? But interestingly, to this day, there is no convincing evidence to prove this story. It remains just an oral tale, sometimes embellished for dramatic effect. Next, a plausible theory is that Genghis Khan died from a serious illness. Some researchers suggest he may have suffered from cancer or another chronic disease that gradually wore down his body. This idea makes sense. After all, everyone is vulnerable to illness, especially in the 13th century when medical knowledge was limited. However, like the poisoning story, this theory has never been confirmed by any concrete evidence. Then there's an even more intriguing perspective. Was Genghis Khan assassinated? Think about it. Surrounded by numerous enemies and brutal power struggles, it wouldn't be surprising if someone conspired to kill him. It's possible that his death was part of a bloody political plot. But again, just like the other theories, we cannot be certain due to a lack of solid proof. So, Genghis Khan's death remains a great mystery with no definitive answer. A legendary leader with incredible achievements, yet when he died, he left behind a haunting question. What truly caused his death? Was it deadly poison, a lingering illness, or was he the victim of a dark conspiracy? Each theory paints a different picture of the truth, sparking even more curiosity and a desire to uncover the facts. You could say that Genghis Khan's death is not just a historical event, but also a part of a mysterious legend that fuels the imagination and curiosity of countless people. It's like an unfinished story that opens up many lines of inquiry, from science to myth, from history to spirituality. What do you think of these theories? Will the truth ever be revealed, or will it remain a deeply hidden secret of history forever? The mysterious appearance that has the whole world curious. Did you know that although Genghis Khan is one of the greatest and most famous historical figures of all time, his true appearance remains an unsolved mystery? It sounds strange, but it's true. While his legendary achievements and life story are well documented, there are no historical records that provide a detailed description of what the Mongol leader actually looked like. Most of what we see today portraying Genghis Khan are creations by artists and sculptors, based on the limited historical sources left behind, combined with cultural traditions depicting the image of a king, a powerful warrior. These portraits often show him as a tall, strong man with thick hair and beard, a face radiating undeniable authority and power. Although these images fit the image of a dominant ruler, have you ever wondered if this was really his true appearance? What makes this story even more interesting is the view of Rashid al-Din, a famous Persian historian. He proposed a rather shocking theory that Genghis Khan had blue eyes and red hair. That's quite different from the familiar images, right? But the reason Rashid al-Din suggested this was based on ancient documents and some rumors circulating at the time. However, the problem is, no one knows for sure if Rashid al-Din ever actually met Genghis Khan, nor is there any concrete evidence confirming this claim. Because of that, this theory has sparked much debate and has not been widely accepted by historians. So, what is the truth about Genghis Khan's appearance? It remains a big question mark that no one can answer with certainty. All that remains are guesses based on paintings, sculptures, and scattered historical records. Each country and culture portrays him in its own way, sometimes making us even more confused about his true likeness. Perhaps it is this vagueness about his appearance that helped turn Genghis Khan into a legendary symbol, not just a specific person, but a representation of strength, authority, and the spirit of conquest. What do you think? Could it be that this very mystery is what makes him appear even greater in the eyes of the world? And imagine, if we actually knew exactly what Genghis Khan looked like, would his historical story still be as captivating as it is now? Maybe the uncertainty and mystery surrounding his appearance are like an invitation, urging history lovers and explorers to keep researching, speculating, and even imagining him. That, indeed, is part of the irresistible charm of one of the greatest leaders the world has ever known. Dear friends, although much about Genghis Khan's life remains shrouded in mystery, there's no denying that he left an extraordinary mark on human history. His achievements in politics and military strategy transformed the ancient world, turning the Mongol Empire into one of the most powerful empires of its time. Though he has passed, Genghis Khan's legacy lives on in our minds and hearts, serving as an enduring source of inspiration for future generations. What do you think about such a great leader? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more exciting discoveries. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.